All right, so I'll get started here. A few things on the front end. So I want to say congrats to Jakeem Grant on, being the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. I thought he had a hell of a game, and he was a spark plug for us and did a great job. And it was neat to see him and the special teams guys blocking for him. As far as today with the schedule change, this was a decision that we made as a club. This is not from the league. We've had some guys that we've had to place on reserve COVID this week, but separate from that, we have some guys that are battling some non-COVID illnesses, so we're just trying to really be smart as we go through this. So what we're going to do is have the post-practice meetings are going to be via Zoom today. That's just with some of the non-COVID illnesses that we're battling. We want to make sure we're smart and taking care of the guys' bodies, both physically and mentally. So we'll continue to monitor that and work through that. Roster moves that we're making here is we're going to start the 3-week practice window today for Jermaine Ifedi and Duke Shelley, and then we'll see how they progress throughout the week. And there's no forecast for them right now, but we'll just keep an eye on them to see how they are. And then jumping back to the COVID illness situation, we also have unfortunately, all three coordinators, Bill Laser, Sean Desai, and Chris Tabor, will not be here. They're still all they're going to be placed on the COVID list. So just wanted to let you aware of all that on the front end, and they're still going to be heavily involved in the game planning. They'll still be a part of all of that, just like I was when I was out via Zoom, and they've been doing that. So. We'll have a plan in place, and I'm not going to get into right now we're working through all of that, who's replacing or who's filling in for those three guys. So there's that. We've, as you know, we've placed 5 players on the list this week. I don't have any updates with that, other than we'll let you know when they're activated, off of the reserve list. I think again the other thing to keep in mind as we go through this, obviously. This is not just a Chicago Bears thing. This is throughout not just the league, but the world. So that's been the biggest message for us as we go through what we're going through right now with some of these, illnesses, whether it's the flu or whether it's COVID, whatever it is, it's cold and flu season. It's all of that combined. We're trying to just make sure that we do everything as best as we can, wearing masks. Again, this decision to basically do the walkthrough is really what it comes down to is when you're limited on some numbers, you stress out the other players that are out there. So we got to be smart. And the one positive from this is that we did this last year towards the end of the season, very similar schedule. So the players that were here know it, the coaches that were here know it, and it becomes a lot of mental reps is what that's all about. So we're going to continue to follow the protocol, which we've been doing, and we'll issue any injury reports after practice, but that's kind of the long version, of where we're at right now from today.
The coordinators, is that new today? Is that something you just knew about today?
Well, there's a combination between the three of them. Some we knew earlier, and one was today.
Are they all feeling all right?
Again, I can't get into. All due respect, I can't get into symptoms and no symptoms. Really, not just. This is a league rule. Like I can't do that for players or coaches. So.
You've navigated COVID issues throughout the last couple of years, whatever. But when it's this extensive, players and coordinators, what is the detriment to your preparation to actually win a game?
Well, it's what you have to do is you have to make sure that, like for the coordinators, they have to Zoom, which is what I did, and you have to make sure that when you're Zooming. The only difference is that they're not there in person. That's really the biggest difference. And then when you go out to practice, they're not there. So you have to. It just creates a little bit more for you for the backup plan of however that is, whether it's game day or whether it's the day of practice or whether it's in meetings. There's some things that you got to work through. But when you keep a mindset of understanding that we're not the only team right now in the NFL that's going through this, or really any league, sports league. There's other teams that are going through this. When you keep that mindset, you understand it. You try to stay as positive as you can.
Is there an automatic pilot kind of thing at this point of the season?
Automatic what?
Automatic pilot where things just kind of work them. Is it easier to to negotiate this kind of situation at this point of the
Yeah.
season as opposed to week 3?
I think so, and in particular too, for the rest of your staff, there might, going into this year, if you have some new staff members that weren't here before, they might not know how you do things, the autopilot you're talking about. Now, here we are, however weeks into it, they know, they understand what a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is like, whether it's meetings or practice, and now it's just a matter of, like just like when I was out, you're just now involved via Zoom, and thank goodness technology is really good.
Do you know if any of them will be, is it possible any of them are back for Monday night, the coordinators?
Again, time forecasting and time and everything, I don't know that for sure. Either way, we're prepared if they are, and we're prepared if they're not. Working through all that, like what's the contingency plan. So, obviously, you hope that they all are okay and good and can be there.
Matt, was that the impetus for the league putting you guys in the protocol earlier this week?
Yeah, earlier was no. What you're saying with the coaches?
Yeah.
No, I think just in general with some of the numbers that I just mentioned to you with the 5 guys that are now on the list, was that, and so now, we're kind of in it still on our own, the enhanced protocol where we're meeting in bigger rooms and where the mask thing is continuing, but there's just more of a focus of spreading guys out.
And do you know, are there any positive tests from you guys today?
We're still working through that. So, yeah, I mean, I think when you look at this situation that we're in, I don't think it's just us in this room or this building. I think it's everywhere right now. There's a lot of people that have flu-like symptoms, whether it's a cold, whatever it is. And so when you get into that, we got to follow protocol that they set for us, and that's what we're doing. So we're working through if there are any more.
What's the extent of the non-COVID illnesses?
The extent?
Yeah, you mentioned that there's a sort of a rash of that. How many guys is that?
Yeah, again, it's, I don't like to put a number on it, but I think right now I don't even know. I just know when I get the call from Dre and Ryan and I talk through, there's a handful of guys. To give you a number, it's not like the whole team.
What will you do on the field today? What will you be able to do on the field today?
It's literally all walkthrough. Yeah, so we will not have a single live rep. It's all walkthrough. It's all mental. We typically on this day, as y'all know, we have a walkthrough in the morning, and then we have the little break for lunch, and then we go out and have practice. What we're doing now is basically having our special teams practice on the front end walkthrough. Then we go into our normal walkthrough in the morning. We do right away, and then we go into the team practice, but it's a walkthrough, and we condense things. So all in all, I think we're out there from around, like 12:30 to 2 or something.
Will you have a live practice tomorrow?
I don't know that.
How helpless,
I don't know.
does this all make you feel?
How what?
How helpless does this make you all feel?
Again, when other teams are going through it, you understand it. It's different. There's no doubt about it. It's different. But it's just what we got to do is what I talked to some of the guys this morning is you gotta understand that this is the world we live in right now. These are the rules we got to play by, and everybody has to know that at any given moment, you got to be ready because it's a next man up mentality, not just for players but for coaches too. Is the way that I look at it, and in these type of moments, what you got to do is just try to really stay positive, take care of your body, stay positive, stay together, and realize that we're not the only ones right now in that. So,
I mean, along those lines, like as a human being, I think we're probably all dealing with a level of frustration that this is still going on
Yeah.
in all of our lives. When you got together, like in the off season and started training camp, and the thinking is, okay, people are getting vaccinated.
yeah,
We're gonna have a full season. This shouldn't be a problem. Then you end up getting it.
yeah.
Coaches have it. I mean, what is that level of frustration that we're still in this spot?
Well, you never know I can remember going into last year thinking, man, this is, are we going to be able to get through this? And we did. And then you get into this summer and you say, okay, now we're past it. We got, vaccinations and this is what's going on. We've been there, done that. We know how to do it. And here we are. And all of a sudden here, what you see is a spike in numbers and for different reasons. But what you have to do is you have to understand that, again, that you have to, what we say last year, expect the unexpected. That this is the unexpected. It's here. And so what we got to make sure that we do and maintain as leaders in this building and with these leaders, the players that we have, is make sure that they stay focused. Sometimes as hard as that can be, you have to do it. That's our obligation, and that's why we're here. And so the teams that do that the best will work through it. And, you got to look for where's the positive out of this. I don't know, but maybe there's a player that ends up playing that wasn't going to play that does something. I don't know that, but maybe there is. And I think that's how you got to approach it.
Coach, how much more difficult has this entire process made your job over the past couple of years? And do you factor that into your own evaluation of the past 2 seasons?
Well, no, not at all. Again, because all 31 other head coaches are dealing with the same thing that I am. So that's not an excuse at all for me. You look back at where we're at and as a team and everything, and it's for us. We want to be better. We know that, but it's no excuse the way things have gone because these other coaches and other teams and players are doing the same thing.
Man, as much as you struggled to beat the Packers, you're 5-1 against the Vikings. What has been the keys to that success? Do you just match up better against the Vikings?
I think that for us, we've had some big games against them. There's been some close games, we've struggled, like you said, against the Packers. But the Vikings games that we've had have been close. They're a good football team every year. It's the same thing this year. They're always good on both sides of the ball. So I don't know if there's a coincidence or not, other than we've had a good record against them. But they're well coached and they're a great football team.
Man, you guys on this team who obviously opted out last year because of concerns about COVID. Is anybody's concern level, do you feel, rising towards that level at this point?
No, I haven't felt that. I thought the guys have been great. Again, the way I deal with them in these team meetings is with honesty, and I just tell them, here's what's going on. Here's where we're at. This is how we're going to handle things. It was like this morning when I told them about the schedule adjustment that we made. This is not coming from the league. The league's not telling me to do this. This is to help the guys that are here. We want to help you so that you can, take care of your bodies and you don't get taxed because of the ones that aren't. So I think that's the biggest thing is between any players that are on the COVID list or not on the COVID list but not feeling well. That list, you got to be smart. If we go out there and all of a sudden we're running around and we're going full, it stresses them, and now it taxes them. Before you know it, you get to the end of the week and you got guys that have injuries that shouldn't have injuries because you didn't handle it the right way. So that's why we're going this route.
What are your current plans at offensive tackle?
Current plans right now? Yeah.
Larry's out and
Yeah. There's moving parts there. For Tevin, you look back at where he was that first game. That's not an easy deal to walk into now. And I think he's gonna grow. He's gonna get better. The plan is to be able to try to keep him, at left tackle. It's not easy to go back and play right tackle or to flip-flop. So we'd love to be able to keep him at left tackle. And then, with Larry playing the right tackle and him, doing a good job there, I think, he has some flexibility to him. But I think you want to be careful with Tevin and trying to move him around too much. And then obviously, like I mentioned, in regards to Fetty, he's been a right, and bringing him up, we'll see how that goes. So really, I don't know if there's anyone else you're –
Well, Elijah's been out for a long time as well.
Yeah, same thing. Keep an eye on him. He can play both, but that's the good thing is we have some depth on the offensive line.
Do you have any good news on Jason Peters?
As far as Jason, right? Yeah, let me fill you in on him. So we got Jason. We have as a high ankle sprain. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, and see where he's at.
He doesn't.
I don't think so, but we can work through that.
With Justin's hand, how is that?
I think okay. Yeah, it hasn't been something that we've discussed, so I think probably some time every day will help him, but it's not something that we're overly concerned about.
If Jason Peters doesn't play, have you decided to have Tevin Jenkins start at left tackle, or is that still something?
Still working through all that, but most likely that would be the case, yes.
With Fetty, is it realistic that he could be ready by Monday?
I think there's a chance.
And, is his return related to your depth? to these depth issues that crept up on you pretty quick?
No, he's you know, we wanted to be smart with, were you talking about Jermaine? Yeah, we wanted to be smart with him. I think the time has helped him, knowing that where we're at has not forced us to be able to have to, you know, try to get him up when he's not ready. So you know, it's crazy how it works, but you know, now he's able, you know, to be able to give us an opportunity. If he's ready, we'll get him up and see what he can do.
When you have so much uncertainty at tackle, and you're going against a team that like leads the NFL in sacks, how does that limit or inhibit you offensively as far as getting a game plan? Because you want to protect your quarterback and
Yeah.
have issues. So how does that limit you, I guess?
Well, you have to have different. They know what you're going to try to do to protect them, which is what everybody does when you want to help your tackle. So you got to have a counter to that, and then there's different ways within the game to when you don't protect them, when that happens, and how you do it. So they know that when you have any tackle, regardless whether you're first year, second year, third year, you're going to help when you need to. When you feel like you need to help them, you will, and then you roll.
In a kind of Belichick in a situation a couple weeks ago against Buffalo, inclement situation, but
Yeah.
he kind of changed his whole game plan and beat a good team. Are you equipped to do that kind of thing? Can you change that much?
Well, that was pretty drastic what they did. And that was a great job by Coach Belichick and Coach McDaniels what they did. And you know, I think when you're in that situation, it's not the first time he's done something like that. So they pretty much said we're going to run the ball and stop us, and ran a few plays the whole time. And in those type of situations, when you're prepared and you can do that, I think it speaks to that they did a great job. I think for sure that we understand where we're at and whatever we need to do if we think it's going to give us advantage. I think that game is probably a little different because literally there was times where it was 3rd and 15, 3rd and 11, and they're running the ball, you know, on a under center run, so I think they're playing to win there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever we need to do to give us the best chance to win, we'll do it.
Who are your next man up candidates at defensive coordinator?
Again, we have a handful of guys, all the position coaches along with Coach Pettin. They all have different abilities, and I think too, like with Coach Pett being on here and being in that role, there's an opportunity there. But we're going to work through all that.
What is Tom Herman's role been this year?
Yeah, he's done a really good. He's bounced around in different areas, which is what we knew kind of going into it. Offensively and then special teams wise. So offensively, he really, I mean, he'll help out from whatever it is, prepping on an opponent that's 2 weeks away to give us a head start on the video, to whatever he needs to do at practice, whether it's helping out running the look team. And I think that speaks volumes to a guy who he's a prominent head college football coach coming from the University of Texas, who now is running cards on a scout team in the NFL. It speaks to his humility. So he helps out that way. He gives a lot of great ideas and opinions, which I appreciate. I really enjoy his personality that way. And then he's been helping out special teams-wise too, whether it's on game day or in practice. He helps out a lot there. So what he's done in this past year is really been able to help us out with his knowledge and what he knows, but also, you know, he's, we've helped him out too with letting him learn the NFL game.